What is going on, Level Up family? Sending nothing but peace and blessings, positive energy, all that good stuff your way. We need it right now. We need it right now. There's a lot going on with this whole coronavirus and a lot of negativity that we're hearing on the media. Just a lot of chaos right now. So sending nothing but positivity for whoever needs it. No matter what you're going through, just know that we're built to endure. We're human, okay? Humans are meant to go through tough times and we're meant to pull through. We always have and we always will, one way or the other. I wanted to express just some of my thoughts on how we create our reality. How are we shaping this very experience that we call life? Are we playing more of a role than we actually know? Are people controlling us? Are people holding us like puppets and just making us move according to their agenda? Are we actively creating? Are we actively creating our life? Or both? Maybe a little bit of both. The point that I want to make with that is we want to focus on what we can control. And for the sake of this discussion, that's going to be my angle. Okay. So going back to the question, how do we control, or a matter of fact, I don't even want to say the word control. How do we create? How do we create our lives? How do we create our personal reality? Well, we all look at reality based on the story that we tell ourselves. Okay? What's your personal story? Why is it that you look at your world the way that you do? Where does that come from? Well, that comes from your personal story. And your personal story is the narrative that you live by. Okay? And we all have it. We all have our own personal narrative. So, what is our personal story? Where does that come from? Well, our personal narrative comes from our life experiences. All of our life experiences that we've been through, from the time you've been born to your current age. Okay? So, your life experiences then are made up of good things, they've made up of bad things, they're made up of the things that have happened in your family. Maybe you didn't have a great relationship with your parents. Maybe you were bullied in school, and as a result, your personal story is people are mean, people suck. Or maybe quite opposite. Maybe you were the popular person in school. Maybe you were the man, or maybe you were the woman. You were all that in a bag of chips. You were all that, you know. You got a lot of accolades. You were the cool person. Everybody looks up to you. That's your personal story. That's your life experience. Okay? Okay, so here's the thing. We all grow up believing that we are our experiences. Okay? We become so identified with the things that we've gone through in our experience that we literally think that our experience is who we are. You have to understand that you are the experiencer, but you are not the experience. Okay? Think of it like going on a roller coaster ride. The roller coaster ride itself is the experience. You're just a passenger, aka the experiencer on that experience. It would be crazy for you to identify yourself as the roller coaster, but yet and still we identify ourselves as our experience. So maybe your experience was somebody telling you that you're not good enough and you'd never amount to anything. How foolish it would be for you to identify with that experience. But yet we do it. We do it quite too often. Okay? So we find then that we're painting our reality based on our personal story that we tell ourselves, which is based on our experiences that we've been through, and we identify with that. So now we understand that we are not our life experiences, but we just experienced we're the experiencer of those experiences. There's a separation now. So now we have to ask ourselves two questions. Who am I? And what can I do to change my experience? Let's focus on the latter question. What can I do to change my experience? Let's look at it like this. How do we shape our current experience? Going back to our original question, how do we create our current experience? Well, we create our experience by our perception, simply by how we observe. Okay? So typically what happens is once we have our personal life story, okay, our personal narrative that's constantly playing itself, constantly replaying itself in the background. When we have our personal narrative, we look for things in our reality to validate that story that we tell ourselves. So if my personal narrative is, I'm not good enough, I'll never amount to anything, I'm subconsciously going to look at reality to validate that story about myself. And as a result, reality is going to give that to me. Because you have to know this. If you take one thing from this video, take this. Reality will always reflect back to you whatever you think about. Reality will always reflect back to you what you observe. Okay? What you observe is what you get. So if you observe, I'm not good enough, I'm not thin enough, I'm not fast enough, I'm not smart enough, then that's what your reality is going to give you in your experience. And that's how we create our reality, by how we perceive our reality. by how we perceive ourselves and our reality, by how we play that story over and over again. Okay? So now, going to the question, how can we change our reality? It's quite simple. You change your reality by changing the story. You change your reality by changing your story. Okay? William Shakespeare, he said that we're all actors and actresses in a stage play, and we have our exits and our entrances. We're all just actors in this role, in this stage, in this world, in this reality. And your personal story is your own stage play. But get this, you get to create the stage play. If you want to change the characters, you can change the characters. If you want to change the scenario, you can change the scenario. If you want to change your act and your role in your story, you can change your character. It all comes down to changing your narrative. When you change your narrative, you change what you observe. You change your attitude. And whatever you alter your attitude towards, that thing will be altered towards you. So if you change the way that you view things, the things will change the way that it comes to you. Your experience will change. Change the experience by changing how you view the experience. That's the key. So now the question, who am I? Well, I'll end right here because that's different for everybody. I can tell you who I am. I'm a creator. I create. That's who we all are inherently. But in terms of who am I, in terms of who are you, one of the best things you can do is know thyself. Get to know yourself. Get to know everything about yourself, flaws and all, and love yourself. Accept yourself. When you get to the point where you accept yourself in all capacity, that's when you have the power to change your story. Okay? You might not like your story. You might not like where you come from. But when you can look back and you can find something to appreciate from it, that's the beauty. You see, you have to change the narrative of that story. That story used to disempower you, but now you can look back and you can change the story so that now that story empowers you. You just give it a different definition. That's all you got to do. Change your story. You change your story by knowing yourself. Know thyself. And I'll end on that note. Much love to you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your support to this channel. If there's any particular topics, any discussions, or anything just anything in general you want to talk about, feel free to send me some comments. Feel free to like and subscribe to my channel, Level Up Nation. Gonna have a lot more coming for you. Much love, peace, and blessings. Talk to y'all soon.
See now, you're ready. Let's go. I love you more. We kill them with kindness. Let's make a toast to the highest. Do you feel just save your soul. Your reality is living, take back control. Yes, you are the infinite light. You are the reason why the stars so bright. Go within, turn the darkness into light. Gods and goddesses reach cosmic heights. Cosmic heights.